I have obviously talked to all women everywhere who are going through infertility, and I'm confident that I'm expressing the collective opinions of everybody who's ever walked this journey. I had a dream a while ago, and it brought this whole topic to light for me. And my dream was that both of my sisters had baby boys on the exact same day. And sorry guys, I know that's a little bit traumatic / funny right now, but in my dream, you had these beautiful baby boys, and I was sitting at this table. Somebody else was sitting across from me. I don't even know who it was, but it was a couple people, and we were just sitting there in silence, awkwardly, because they knew about our story. They knew that we couldn't conceive. They didn't know what to say. And in my dream, I felt that awkwardness, I felt that tension, and I felt unapproachable. And that dream was actually really powerful to me because it made me realize I have felt unapproachable for a long time because I don't think that people know what to say. And I think they want to give you space because it's emotional. They don't want to push in if they're not welcome. And so I actually think that if you're walking with infertility, you have to tell people if they are welcome to just embrace you, because I've wanted and wished so many times that somebody would just grab me and embrace me in the moments. But I think we're perceived like a pretty fragile piece of glass, which makes us untouchable, and people don't really want to approach us. So therefore, this is an important conversation to have about what to say to somebody who is walking through some type of infertility. You can ask permission to say the wrong thing. If you're in a close connection with them, if this is one of your good friends or a family member, you can ask them, do I have your permission to say the wrong thing? Because I don't want to say nothing. I don't want you to feel isolated. I don't want you to feel that you're unapproachable, because you're not. And that can be okay. I actually had somebody come up to me and say, you know, how are you? And I said, oh yeah, I'm good, thanks. And you know, she kind of said like, so how are things going? And the floodgates just kind of opened, and I said, you know, I feel like people don't know how to talk to me. I feel like I'm seen from a distance for this issue, and people they want to love on me, but they don't know how. And that's when she said, do I have your permission to say the wrong thing? Because I want to talk to you. And I said, yeah, for sure, actually. That would be great. So anyways, you can ask that question of them. The second thing to think about is, what would you say to somebody who's grieving? What would you say to somebody at a funeral? And I know this sounds weird, but I've actually just realized in the past year that every month I go through a mini grief cycle, and that I have kind of been consistently grieving different things over this past few years. I grieve at family Christmases. I grieve the fact that we haven't had to buy a minivan. I grieve when I go shopping, I have to force myself not to look at the maternity clothes section or the baby clothes section. Somebody going through infertility grieves small moments every day. So if you wouldn't say something to someone at a funeral, consider if you would say it to somebody who's going through infertility, because truly it can be that level of grief on a consistent basis where we're just holding back the tears, where the sadness can be all-consuming some days. You can tell them that they are strong enough to get through this, because truly some days we don't know if we can get through this. We don't know if we're strong enough to carry this load. And you can tell them, I know this is hard, but when things are heavy and you carry weight, weight builds muscle. And you are strong enough to get through this. And I'll be right here beside you to do it. That is really powerful. That empowers somebody who's walking through this. The next thing is that infertility is isolating. We can kind of feel left on the outside of the mom club. And when all your friends are moving on to the next stage and you stay right here, you kind of feel left out, like you didn't get the invite to the party. So you can tell that woman in your life, we love you for who you are. We want you around. I care about you. I want you to pour into my children. I want you to be part of our family. I want you to be here at celebrations. We want you for who you are, not just as part of the mom club. And then you can say, if it's too hard some days, let me know. But we want you here. And I think just to know that even though you're in different stages of life, the fact that somebody still wants to do life with you, that's really, really powerful. Because there's lots of things we feel left out on, and inviting someone to baby showers gets awkward. And inviting someone to Christmases and birthday parties gets awkward, because we know that you know that it stings. But we also want to know that you want us. As Christians, I do think that we need to hear the Bible, we need to hear the promises, we need to hear the word, we need to have somebody come alongside us in faith and say, what are you believing for, and what can I believe with you for? To know that if I have this little nugget in my heart and I can share that with somebody else and they take it and they pray over it and they run with it and they hope for me, that is really, really encouraging to me and my spirit. You can pray for wisdom, for hope, for faith, for fertility. You can pray really, really specific. If you know the specifics of their situation, you can pray into that physical component specifically and tell them, I am praying for this specifically for you. Because on the days where my faith feels the lowest, I can hang on to that. Encourage them to lean into Jesus hard. They are strong enough to do this, but on our own, it is overwhelming. So encourage them to lean into Jesus. Encourage them to dig into their Bible. Encourage them to just worship. And on the hardest days, go to the Father and lay it down at the cross. You can tell them, I'm leaning in with you. I'm walking with you. I'm beside you. You are not alone. And I'm getting emotional because I'm thinking of the people who have said that to me. I didn't think I'd get emotional on this YouTube, on this topic, but here we are. It's lonely. Know that they're grieving. Know that they feel lonely. I stumbled across something that just made me roll my eyes a little bit, but again, on my infertility support group that always seems to turn me off a little bit, somebody was talking about this concept of toxic positivity. And I just kind of thought, what? And so I had to Google it. And essentially, toxic positivity is where somebody expresses a hardship they're going through, and you just say, keep your chin up, be positive, think about all the good things that are happening, don't worry about the bad stuff, sunshine and roses and Pollyanna and sprinkles. And apparently this level of positivity is toxic to somebody because it doesn't validate the person's feelings about this hardship. It just brushes over that and tells them to be positive. I need positive people in my life. If you don't shy away from saying positive things to me because you're afraid of being toxic, you can still validate feelings and give me hope and give me encouragement and say positive things. You can still listen, walk beside me, and speak truth. If Great Aunt Pearl gives you that Pollyanna answer, please do not label her as toxic positivity. I think that we need to have a little bit more grace for one another in these conversations. It doesn't need to be the perfect answers before we accept or have a conversation with somebody. So that's my thoughts on what to say to somebody with infertility. On the flip side, here are some things that are typically not helpful to say to somebody who's going through infertility.
Oh dear, you are way too stressed. You just need to relax. I once knew someone who heard of a girl that once she relaxed, it just happened naturally all by itself.
Can't you just adopt?
Well, I think we can, but it's like an 8-year wait list.
What about international adoption? There's like tons of babies in orphanages just waiting for good homes.
For sure. I think it's like $40,000, and the government can change their mind at any time, so it's a little bit scary.
Well, just open your heart and open your home.
Yeah, you know what you should do? Go on vacation. Get some sun, get some sand, just relax. Everything will happen naturally by itself. So you just conceived randomly while still on birth control. So yeah, I mean, I guess anything can happen.
Don't focus on having a baby. Focus on all the other good things that have ever happened to you in your life, and this one will come to pass in its own due time.
We need you. We need our people. We're sad. But we love you and we miss some normal aspects of life. We're high emotions. And we don't like that. And we just wish life could be normal. But this is our road to walk. And you know what? Everybody has it hard. And knowing that our people are beside us, sometimes even in silence, and sometimes to encourage us on in this marathon, and grieving with us on the days we need to grieve. It means more than you ever know.